Hey friends, welcome to the Johnson City Living Podcast, where we learn about the people, places, events, and flavors that make Johnson City a lovely place to live. I'm your host, Colin Johnson, with the Colin and Carly Group and Keller Realty. We're out selling houses every day, and we'd love to help you buy one, sell one, get involved in real estate in Johnson City. It is a gorgeous April morning, and the grass is green. I cut it the other day. It's just perfect. I love walking out and seeing like a perfectly cut lawn. It makes my heart pitter-patter. But who cares about grass? We're talking about some syrup today. I've got one of my dear friends, Jessica Edmisten. She is with the syrup shop in Johnson City. Welcome to the podcast, Jessica.
Thank you very much.
This is familiar territory for you, I feel like. I think you were on here before.
It's been several years.
Yeah, you had a better host at that point. Leighton Hart was the guy.
Host,
he was
yes.
he was the host at that point, and you are stuck with me today.
I guess.
Thanks for coming on.
Well, thank you.
So let's Johnson City Living. You've listened to it. Here's the first question: what is your favorite thing about Johnson City?
Favorite thing about the syrup shop? Absolutely.
Oh, I love it. That's a good plug. I like that. All right, second favorite.
I just love the small town charm. I think we're really growing, so we're starting to see some things that you can find in the big city, but we still have the small town. I love community. We're getting ready to be into the farmers market season. That's one of my favorite seasons.
I think that just opened.
It opened last weekend, yes. So the Johnson City Farmers Market and the regional farmers markets are just a lot of fun. I love the community and the fact that we have farmers that are still growing and producing. We need it.
Doesn't that scare you, like that all the people are like, I don't want to farm anymore. You know, like the farmers' kids are like, that looks hard. I don't think I'm going to do that. And so we're like, hey, who's going to feed us?
Absolutely.
I feel like we should get our boys to farm.
Well, good luck with that.
If they can do it with...
get mine to do some work.
Maybe we can put them on a tractor with like Xbox screens in there, and the tractor's just GPS driving
fan,
itself.
air conditioning for sure.
Yes, definitely. All right. Where'd you grow up? Are you a Johnson City born and raised?
I did grow up in Johnson City. I'm from Wisconsin, actually.
What? This is new.
Born in Wisconsin.
How long did you live in Wisconsin?
So I was about 8 when we moved to Johnson City. My dad is a chiropractor, and so he bought a practice here and brought us to little old Johnson City.
Now, how many kids are there?
Well, it's a blended family, so there are several.
Several.
But I grew up with 2 brothers.
Okay.
So there are some other siblings out there, but 2 brothers.
I like it.
Yeah.
And where are they now?
So a lot of people don't know this, but my brother, we were a blended family.
Okay.
And so I have a brother the same age as me. So we were raised as twins, which was horrible. I love him now, but I didn't at that time.
This isn't Aaron.
This is my brother Chris. He actually had several small businesses in the area before he moved.
Oh, cool.
And he is in Charlotte, or actually he's in Greensboro. He just recently moved to Greensboro.
Nice.
And then my brother Aaron, who a lot of people know, he's a drummer.
He's been around forever.
Well known in this area.
Yeah.
He just moved to Nashville.
Nice.
So
musically.
He's he would like to be plugged in, but it takes some time. So
it does for sure.
Yeah.
It does for sure. Okay. Let's talk syrup.
Okay.
You are a syrup maker, connoisseur, expert, and people are like, syrup? What's she talking about? Is it maple syrup? No.
I love it.
What kind of syrup is it? What kind of syrup are you making over there in your big cauldron? You stir.
We get that a lot. So we started with elderberry syrup. So it's an immune system support. It's great syrup all year long.
I've used it. I'm a fan.
Yes, your family has
been
a customer for a long time.
We've bought a lot of syrup.
Very grateful for that.
We love it. It's good stuff.
Yeah, so the elderberry, it has a lot of great qualities. It's an anti-inflammatory, helps with digestion. It can help with just immune system support throughout the year. A lot of people think cold and flu season is the only time that you would use that, but actually yesterday I was struggling with a little tickle in my throat, feeling like allergies, and I had been using another blend that we have, and I did that in combination with elderberry. So it's a great thing to have on hand. I encourage people to have a bottle in case you start to feel bad. We do see colds and flu through the summer. A lot of people like to be in denial about that.
Right. They just call it allergies and move on.
Yeah. And it's great. It's a great product for travel. really encourage people, if you're traveling, there's nothing worse than being on vacation and not feeling well.
Right.
So we have some great options to help you enjoy your travels and enjoy the people you're with and not have to be laid up. So it started with elderberry, and then we have another blend, and a lot of people question this, but it's the sumac. So we use the sumac berry. It
Makes my
is
throat itchy.
non-poisonous. Yeah. And
Don't
so,
touch it. Just drink it. No, it's
there are
non-poisonous.
certain sumac berries you don't want to touch,
I
but
bet,
this is
yes.
not that.
Okay.
So the sumac berry is it's an anti-inflammatory. It's like a natural antihistamine, I guess, what we found with the herbs that we use. And so it's wonderful for allergy season, and that's what's really ramping up right now. We have 2 blends. It's pink sumac, and then we have one that has elderberry in it called the eldermac. So,
Elder Mac.
and then we developed a blend for cough and congestion. So we have a really great blend for just that nagging cough. Most people, it's a cough that lingers after sickness. And so it's that annoying cough that you can't seem to get rid
That kind of
of,
dry.
tickle in your
Yeah, you
throat.
just can't get rid of it.
And so we have the sea blend, which is an amazing blend. So I think we do a seasonal blend as well called the winterberry, which we just have finished up with that. But we have 5 SKUs of syrup right now, so
Yeah.
that's exciting. And we have several like make at home kits. We have herbal tea. Our shop, we try to have everything you would need to feel well.
Yeah.
Health and wellness. We use all natural ingredients, herbs and spices,
And everything nice.
local honey. Yeah. So, yeah. And we still make it here in Johnson City.
So holistic healing kind of thing, did that come from Dad being a chiropractor?
So my dad, yes, he would be the one to offer up a vitamin before we'd go to the doctor.
Right.
My mom was also very granola. My brother and I laugh. We didn't have like Little Debbie cakes or cookies, or we just weren't raised like that. It was more like
Here's
a
your brand
granola
bar.
bar and some cranberry juice.
There you go.
We drank a lot of cranberry juice. So
That's why you're so healthy today.
there you go. I don't know about all that, but yeah. So we were raised very alternative, and so it was kind of in my DNA, I guess.
Yeah. Let's talk about a little bit about the alternative medicine movement. I think people are starting to question, is all this medicine we're taking the right thing, or, doctors just prescribing stuff like crazy. And so is that, where do you see, I guess, prescription medicine going versus alternative medicine would be my question.
Well, I think we're starting to see some of that where some medicines aren't available, and that can be a huge inconvenience for people. Some people are very reliant on those medicines. I do believe that there is a space for alternatives. I think that there are products out there that can work as well, if not better. But there's a lot of fear around that too, because it's the unknown. So
Right.
people just don't know. So my thing is just try to educate yourself, and we do a good job. The girls that I have at the shop, we really try to educate. We're not just trying to sell. And so that's, education is very important. And, if it gets worse, we're in trouble
Yeah.
with the
Like the shortage of medicine.
shortage in the prescription world. Yes.
And that's something I haven't heard. I hear there's plenty of medicine. You can get whatever you want. They'll sell you whatever you want. So talk to us a little bit about shortages that you're seeing. Because I hadn't.
Well, actually, I was just talking to a friend who their son, they were getting ready to put him on Ritalin, and there was a nationwide shortage. This has been a few weeks, so maybe it's back. But occasionally, we'll catch someone in the shop talking about a shortage, or they can't get their medicine. Or I know that a lot of people have seen the skyrocket in price. The price has just gone. I mean, it's so expensive, and so I think people are trying to find alternatives that are affordable.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of great resources out there. There's a lot of holistic people in the area. That's one of the things I love about Johnson City. I think we're growing in that area. Holistic medicine, alternatives, and it's really neat to see what's going on in that world. So
Yeah. Yeah. Carly and I lean a little bit more on the alternative side. Growing up my dad teaches med students, and so, or taught all of them. And so the thought behind it is they've done the data, and they know this stuff works, and it does, but there are also other options that work as well that the
Studies.
Lord's put out, and so it's like we kind of go, okay, well, yes, that could work. However, this might work too. And so we're going to go this direction.
And we have some of our best customers are nurses.
Oh,
and I
really?
think that's where they just see what's happening in that world, and they're looking for alternatives.
Yeah.
And so, I kind of just laugh when they come in, and they'll come in their scrubs, and they'll come in, and grab product for friends and take it to the hospital. And we've delivered to the hospital,
that's
to
cool.
employees there. And so that's encouraging that, I think that there are people who are trying to find that balance.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's not just syrup. You can't just take syrup.
No.
You're healthy. What are some other things that you do to stay healthy?
No, I think
Or
it's
you'd encourage
really important
our folks
to have a balance of a lot of things. So, exercise is huge. Just getting outside and walking if you're not into the exercise. Drinking water, that's another huge thing. Diet is unbelievable. And there are some really neat businesses opening up in this region that are focusing on health and wellness, diet, exercise, alternative therapies. If you want to do acupuncture, or you want to go sit in a hyperbaric chamber, or lymphatics, or there's just all kinds of
I think there's a cryo
resources.
chamber too, like open.
Yeah, I think that there are.
Just crazy,
so-
like negative 30 degrees or something. You're like sitting there for 2 minutes. But one of my friends said it's fantastic. He's like, it heals, like it takes all the inflammation out of your body, which is like, that sounds good.
The cold, I'm not a cold person,
I
but
don't like the cold either.
you try that out and let me know how it goes.
There you go. I'll report back. I'll just put you in touch with my friend who did it.
Yes, there
That'd
you
be
go.
easier.
There you go.
Okay. So growing up as a little Wisconsin girl, did you like go, hey, I want to be a syrup lady one day? Tell us about like school, like your path to the syrup shop. How did that happen? Did you go to school to study
actually-
syrups? And
No, I have a very funny story. I was reminiscing with a friend. My first gig as an entrepreneur, right?
Yeah, you and Aaron.
So
You're
my dad,
singing,
I
he's
know.
drumming.
Yeah, my dad had a chiropractic business. A lot of people knew him, Dr. Heshong. He was a chiropractor in the area. He had his business was on like Watauga Avenue, and I was going to do a sugar-free bake sale. You can imagine how delicious those items were.
Oh, we've got friends who are sugar-free.
But
They make good stuff on plan. Like,
I mean,
Melissa
now
Winstead
it's
can
come-
make stuff
it's
that's
come a
like,
long
I'm
time-
like, how
a
does
long
this not have
ways.
sugar in it? It's fantastic. So,
Back then, it was not really very delicious, but
Right.
I had spent, a couple days baking, and I was going to do this bake sale at my dad's shop, and I set up, and I had a table, and I'm probably a poster board that I had written. I was probably 13, and Tim Birchfield from Chick-fil-A came through, and he said to me, "When you turn 15, come work for me."
nice.
And I remember that made such a huge impact on
Yeah.
me. Like, wow, I could actually get a job when I'm 15.
Right.
Yes.
That's cool. I thought I had to wait till
I
6.
know. But anyways, that was the start. I used to do little entrepreneurial things here and there.
Did you go to work for Tim?
I did.
At
actually.
Chick-fil-A?
Yep. When I was 15, I was like, here I am. He's like, oh gosh.
You took me up on it.
And we've had some fun times.
Oh, I bet.
I love that guy.
Oh, he's such a good dude.
Yes. So that was kind of the start. Graduated from University High, which we had connection there.
Yeah, we did.
Right? We
What
were
year
you
are
were
you-
older
what-
than me.
What
Let's
year
just
did you
go ahead.
graduate?
We're going to put that on air. It's in the 1900s.
There you go.
The late 1900s.
Yeah.
I graduated in 93.
So, yep, I was 2 years
University
ahead.
High.
91.
And then, so I graduated and ended up kind of just flailing around for a while. But I did graduate from ETSU in graphic design. And so started working, I did some corporate, I worked for a small firm in the area, and then got married and decided I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom.
There you
have
go.
Kids.
Yeah.
So I have 4 wonderful
I was
children.
going to say you were good at it. You like had 4 of them.
Yeah. I would say if you stop while you're ahead, 1 or 2 is probably really good. They're so cute when they're
I
little.
don't know. Like we've got, so at church we've got vans pulling up, dropping off. They've got 8 and 6 and 10, and I mean just amazing. And so you're like, Carly and I go, it's going to be super cool for them one day when they have
Yeah.
Christmas.
Teenagers is when it's really cool.
Right? Yeah. Teenage days are probably they're like,
That's
all
when
right,
you're like, why did I have so many kids?
right. We're going to let you all run the house. We're moving out
Yeah.
for a while.
Yeah.
But I think like bringing all the kids and grandkids back, and you've got a house full of just kids.
I think that would be
It'll be
wonderful.
fun. It'll
If
be
you
fun.
can make
and
it
so you're
If I can survive.
and you're like almost over the hump. You're real
I'm
close.
still in those teenage years.
Yeah, but you're close.
So Chloe's on her way, but yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, decided to stay at home. I was home for a while and then ended up getting back into the workforce. And I did, I created, a lot of people remember or still have our original Advent calendar. It was called the Perfect Advent Calendar.
Yeah, I remember
think
that. Yeah.
Carly might have even had
We
one.
did have one. Yeah.
So I ended up at the Atlanta America's Mart. It's the gift market there.
Yeah.
And got into that world for a while. And so did product development. It was a lot of fun. Shifted into doing some clothing. And it was just, 6 years of just, it was a hustle and bustle, but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And then just kind of went through a phase. I would call it an early midlife crisis, maybe. I don't know.
Just looking for yourself.
Rough year.
Yeah, because you're not even 30 yet. So it was
Searching.
definitely early.
So I was in my early 20s.
That's right.
No, but just searching for what was going to be next. And so I ended up going to school to become a life and business coach. I thought that maybe that was my path and journey, and did some training there. Kind of got out of product development, and 2018 was a year I was searching. So, and I started this business in 2019.
Now, did you have health issues that kind of led you down the path? Like a lot of people self-discover this kind of stuff, right? They're like looking for a.
No, this wasn't. I had gotten to a point. I had gone through a divorce that was really tough, and just like 2018 was the year from hell for me. But I was just trying to figure out what the next steps were, and I was in a situation where I needed to be working.
Yeah.
And so, having had some history with entrepreneurship, I figured that there was something I could do, and so I was searching. I sew, and I did embroidery and some upholstery work, and it was just like I'm dabbling in anything. And I remember it was 2019. I did the Daniel fast, and I was just praying, God, please lead me into something. And so the old famous story, James Dupree, at small group, he was like, try my elderberry syrup. And I said, you should sell this. And he was like, no, I'm not going to sell it. And I did a post on social media, and the post was what took it off. Posted I was selling elderberry syrup. I think I sold 24 bottles in like 20 minutes. And I didn't know how to make elderberry syrup. So it was like, take this post off. Sold out. Holy cow.
James, we're going to get together in the kitchen and
so
make
I'm
some syrup, bro.
James, where's that recipe you used? No, so that was the start of it. And I thought,
So does he get royalties off of every bottle of
he
syrup?
He tries. Remember who taught you this? You know how he is. But
Yeah, I do. I love James Dupree. Need to get him on here.
So it started out just as a hobby, something fun to do.
Yeah.
And it just started taking off, and it was like, one thing led to the next. I will say, I'll give a little plug, because in 2018, I was just devastated financially. I was really struggling financially. I was feeling very overwhelmed, single parent, and I made a connection with Appalachian Opportunity Fund with Adam Taylor.
Yep.
And he really helped me shift my life. And he helped me just learn how to manage my funds with this business and how to get out of debt. I went from, having a ton of debt and a very low credit score to just, success. And he walked alongside of me. So I tell people, a lot of women, when they go through a divorce, they can be devastated. It can take you from middle upper class to a lower class bracket. And there are great resources out there if you're feeling overwhelmed.
Yeah.
So anyway, I walked along with him and just slowly built this business. I had no idea. I thought it was a hobby, something I was going to be doing part-time. And so we ended up, everything started at the farmer's market. Those were the little vendor events, and farmer's market was where we started selling. And then we got into a storefront. And the main reason I went there was because we were trying to find a place to make product.
Right.
And I didn't realize that there was an amazing kitchen in the area. So Mountain Harvest Kitchen is in Unicoi. And I had opened up this little brick and mortar that had a kitchen in the back, and we were making everything there.
We're off Princeton.
Yep, off Princeton. And then we survived the pandemic, which,
Now, I could see you saying we survived the pandemic, but I thought, for me, looking back, maybe it was, you were ahead of the game a little bit, right?
Well, the problem for us in this community is education. So a lot of people they don't know. And if they don't know, they're leery, very leery. And so, some people that are in the elderberry business, they killed it during the pandemic, but we hadn't had enough experience under our belt.
Enough traction.
We hadn't really been doing it long enough, because I had been in business for a year at that time.
Yeah.
So we were able to, sustain, and we did okay through that. But, again, just praying like, what's next? Are we
Yeah.
doing this forever? Where are we
Yeah.
going?
Well,
And
and we were great. I mean, we were, grateful that you were open during the pandemic because I think, we took your syrup on the daily and we were like, I mean, knock on wood, we're doing great still, so.
But I think that it was the connections that we made with our customer base and community. Were really, we love our customers and we love that community. And so those were the people that kept us open.
Yeah.
So very grateful. The people that trusted us, trusted our product, trusted our process, which led me to kind of the next step in 2021. We ended up being forced out of that space, kind of a last minute deal. The owner wanted the space back. And so we were again searching like, what's next? Are we done? Are we going to keep making product? And we ended up at Mountain Harvest Kitchen. And so we had a great experience there. We ended up getting our product certified with the Department of Agriculture. We've worked with UT, the Food and Science Department. So we've taken a lot of strides to be sure we're making this product the right way, that it's shelf stable.
Our friend Jason
gonna
Remy
get you
helped
sick.
bottle it.
Yeah. He helped with our label. He was in label compliance. So when he showed up at the farmer's market one Saturday, I was like, oh my gosh, don't look too close. Please, holy cow. But anyways, it was a great relationship that he really helped me take some next steps in being sure we were putting the right things on our labels.
Sure.
And there's so much in the food business that people don't realize go into making product. And so we, took those strides, and we still make our product at Mountain Harvest Kitchen. So we still keep everything local, which is really nice.
Talk about certifying and getting it certified by USDA, is right?
So it's the Department of Agriculture for
Department of
certain
Agriculture.
foods.
Okay.
I think when you get into meat and dairy, it's USDA.
Gotcha.
I'm not positive because I'm
Sounds
not
about
in that
right.
world, but
Yeah, we'll just make it up.
so we started with UT and working with them, and so we have to. There's a whole process of heating to a certain temperature. You have to hold at that temperature. Then you test your pH. So your pH is the environment that bacteria can grow. So we make sure that that is not an environment for bacteria.
And then on the other side, that it doesn't inhibit the benefits. You don't
Right.
cook out all the good stuff.
We don't want to cook out the honey too hot. And actually, what was very interesting is I met a guy he was a beekeeper for years, an older gentleman, Roan Mountain Honey.
Yeah.
And he was just an amazing guy. But he talked to me a lot about how hot you could get the honey to be sure you're not losing the good of it.
Yeah.
And so we worked with UT, got everything in compliance. You have to get a letter of certification that you have to give to the Department of Agriculture. I mean, it was a whole process. I had no idea. And then it goes through a process with your labeling. They're very strict on things that you can and cannot say.
Sure.
And the same goes with what you're posting on social media. And, the FDA regulates and tries to check on that.
Which is good, I think, right? I mean, like,
Yes and no. I mean, I think that
they're probably overwhelmed, so they don't check on it very much, but
you have to be very careful. We can't make any claims that we're going to heal you or that, it's, we just have to be very careful what you're saying.
Right.
And so we use a lot of testimonials. This is kind of how we do our marketing. But the certification process, and then we went to the kitchen. And so the kitchen at Mountain Harvest is certified. It's already certified with the Department of Agriculture. So all your processes and, there's tons of things that you have to do to be in compliance. One thing I wanted to do was to make our kitchen certified, but it was just such a lengthy process that it was like, there's no way. I mean, it's so expensive. It's very lengthy. So to have that in our region is huge.
Yeah.
And I don't think, it's not used. That kitchen could hold a lot more small businesses that are interested in going to the next level.
Okay, so for our listeners and for me, I'm like going, you've got a nice kitchen down there. So I'm like, in my mind, there's a bunch of stoves and some like countertops
you have
and
no
some
idea.
blenders and
It's
microwave,
amazing.
so
It's
like
amazing.
you actually like or have a space there where it's just dedicated to you in this kitchen, or do you like bring in and you work like certain hours and you make your stuff and then you get out?
So it's an incubator kitchen, and it's open to the public. It's open to all people in this area and region. There are some people who will go do meal prep. There are people who, there's several small businesses who have bottling of product and that sort of thing. But we reserve a day and we go, and they have an 80-gallon kettle.
Oh, wow.
Which is what we use. So it's a huge kettle, and we go and we can just kill it. I mean, we could make 10 to 12 cases at our shop, and we can make, we've made 80 cases in a day. That'll stretch you, but
Yeah.
but
You're
they
like, at the end of
have,
the day, we're done.
they have all kinds. They have a wonderful baking area for people who want to do baking. They have kind of like an area where you can do testing if you want to test your pH or temperatures or that sort of thing. They've got all kinds of ovens and dehumidifiers and I mean anything you can imagine.
Kitchen-wise, that's great.
Anything you can imagine. If you're in that world, they have it. So yeah, it was really it allowed us to be able to wholesale product. And so we started wholesaling in the region, and it also allows you to legally ship across state lines. And so, some people don't know what the laws are. And so that was something we didn't realize. But
Somebody like me would just be like, yeah, let's just send it
Ship
over
it.
let's send it back to Wisconsin where she came from. We can ship it over there. That's not a problem.
yeah,
I mean, they looked at me, they found it on Etsy, it's cool, or Instagram or whatever. I
Yeah.
can send it across, I can mail my grandma something or whatever.
yes.
But you
yes.
can't.
Well, you can mail your grandmother whatever you want, but we cannot
Right.
without that certification. So it
Well,
was really good. It was
yeah,
key
that
for
is
us and just took us to the next level.
So, again, remind the listeners about the name of the business.
So it's the syrup shop in Johnson City.
Johnson City Syrup Shop.
Syrup shop.
Syrup shop.
Yes.
Okay.
We're over on Mount Castle.
On Mount Castle in a cute little corner.
Yes, we're
Yeah. And we're looking for new space. I didn't get back to you on that, but yes, we are looking for a new space.
we'll see.
Who was somebody who's influenced you a lot besides the kitchen people, and who was one of your big influencers that you were like, this person I want to give a shout out.
Talking about business or friendship?
Whatever, just in life.
Well, I'm going to tell you, I have had a friend for, we don't say how many years, over 30 years, Karen Hubbs. This shout out to you, my friend.
What's up, Miss Karen? She's great.
Yeah, she owns the Goose Chase in the
Yeah.
area. And she and I have been on a very interesting path and journey with entrepreneurship and friendship. And we were just talking the other day, thankfully, when she's been down, I've been up and vice versa. So it's really, I've been blessed tremendously to have such a great friend.
Yeah, she is awesome. And she's doing great things in her area. Yeah, check out the goosechase.com probably. And if you're interested in road racing or
Yeah, she
events, and she does all kinds of stuff.
She brings the fun, I'll tell you.
She really does. She does.
She's a fun one.
She does. So, you talked a little bit about difficulty and, divorce and that kind of stuff. If you want to talk about some of the difficult things in your life that you've helped come over, and maybe you could help somebody else who's listening maybe overcome a situation, or a lot of times it's mindset, right? You have like one hit, and another hit, and you're kind of like, oh, this is, and how do you break out of that, because I'm sure a pandemic shows up. You're not selling stuff. This is not going well. Like, how did you thrive? Because you look alive and you're just thriving right now and excited. You have a lot of life just in energy coming off of you. So you got through that time. How did
Right.
you,
I think it just goes back to having faith. I mean, faith and trust in Jesus for me.
yeah,
That relationship's really important.
yeah,
And I think the times that I've hit rock bottom, 2018 came out, I was divorced, I was broke, I had no money, I had no financial stability whatsoever. And it was that Daniel fast, it was like, I'm going to surrender and just fast and pray. And I feel like every time I've hit rock bottom, if I can just shift your mindset again,
Right.
like I'm just not going to do this and trust that God has a bigger plan for me.
right.
And that's when I can pull myself out of the
And
fire.
yeah, and you didn't fast to get something. You fasted to hear, the Lord and get closer to Him and sacrifice some things that are close to you to be closer to Him. And
Right.
through that, I think some people are like, well, yeah, I'll fast and pray over this thing and it'll happen because I've fasted. It's not
Well, and I will tell you, a friend of mine encouraged me. We do the Daniel fast yearly.
Mm-hmm.
And there are years where there's a big ta-da, and then there's years where there's not anything.
right.
It's just maybe some clarity, or it's a refocus, or maybe you're headed in a different direction. It's not always, a big aha. But I think that that's part of this journey, is having faith and knowing that there's a bigger picture. And so we're on this path and journey for a reason. And I just encourage my friends, I'm like, if you're not in the Word, get in it.
Every day.
Because it's really important.
And it's so cool. Like every day it shows you something different. And so, yeah, and I feel that there are a lot of people who are struggling, don't know Jesus, or I don't know what you do when you are down and you don't know Jesus. Like, I don't know where you go. I guess that's where there's a lot of addictions, and people go to bottles and drugs and, different things to
Whatever.
try and,
We can go to food. They can go to work.
yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of
There's a
things
lot of things we try and numb
that we
ourselves
can.
with, for sure.
Absolutely.
And so, yeah. Well, thanks for sharing your story about Jesus. Who was the person who led you to Jesus?
Oh gosh. Well, I grew up in a really teeny Christian school. It was called, it started out as Carter County Christian School, and it shifted the name to Bethel Christian Academy. It was in Elizabethton.
I've heard of that.
And just through that path and journey, being in the Christian environment and raised in a Christian school, that was something we learned.
Mom and dad, believers?
My mom, yes, not originally. My
Okay.
mom was not a believer for a long time, and she talks about, that really changed her life when she came to know the Lord.
It will change your life. Like,
Yeah,
he
it's
will.
amazing.
It's amazing. Like, it's just pretty amazing. So, um, what's the future of the syrup shop look like?
That's a great question.
What are we? Where are we going? I mean, like, we sticking with elderberry? Like, you mean to come up with some stuff right now?
Yeah, so I'm super excited. We are going to be in Johnson City, Kingsport, Jonesboro, and Abington farmers markets. So we're slowly growing.
Nice.
And
That's going to be hard for you to be at 5 places at
I
once.
know it's going to be real interesting. I have amazing girls on my team. I love this. My team consists of moms who are bored or retired or just want to get out in the community, and so it's been amazing. But we are just looking at how to grow, what that looks like. And I had someone ask me the other day, do you ship? Do you do this? Do you do that? And we have stayed small town, but we've spread across the region.
Okay.
And so we are trying to get our roots deep. And then, I don't know.
Then you may start shipping it to
So we can ship.
all over the world.
We don't push that just because we don't have the manpower to, that's not a desire of mine to grow super quick and be all over. To me, what is the most important is that relationship, really developing that, having that conversation. What's going on? How are you feeling? Where are your, what are the issues? And what's great is we do tons of referrals. So if you need more than syrup, we'll help you.
Yeah.
And,
I think that's what's great about our area. Like, people call me needing a house, but then they'll be like, oh, and by the way, do you know anybody who paints? Or do you know anybody who sells syrup? And I'm like, well, yeah, let me hook you up with Jessica. She's great. And I think we have a great community that just loves supporting each other. Like, it brings me joy to send people your way. I'm like, oh, you got a cough? I hear that. Let's go over to Jessica's.
Well, it is all about community. And that's one thing I love about Johnson City is we are really, I feel like there's a strong knit community here. We support each other, tons of referrals. Yes, if you're looking for a realtor or you're looking for, someone in alternative medicine or a dentist or, there's just, we need all the things.
Podcast guy.
Yes.
Call Mitch.
Yeah, call Mitch. Yes. So it's really important to have that community. And having grown up here, we have probably a few more connections than someone just
We're
coming in.
extremely connected, which is just, it's a lot of
it's
fun.
wonderful.
It is wonderful. Yeah. How can listeners connect with you online, or if you want to give out your phone number? I'm just
my personal number. We are on social media. It's
Yeah.
the JC Syrup Shop. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We post all the time where we're going, what we're doing. I try to stay, in the know of what's going on as far as market events, vendor events. And then we have a website, thejcsyrupshop.com.
Okay.
And our storefront is on Mount Castle. We're behind Target.
Yep, and Sherwin-Williams is right there beside you. And what are your store hours? Like, if somebody wanted to come by and pick up some syrup, because that's the way I like to do it. I just like to run by and grab it. And
we are only open Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, 12 to 6. We use Monday and Wednesday for stocking our wholesale. So we have on our website, we have a list of all our regional retail partners. So we have tons of people that carry our product.
Yeah, I saw you in Natural Foods. That's where I got some the other day. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, we're in Greenville, Bristol, Jonesboro. We go to Gate City, Abingdon. I mean, we're across the region, and so we have all those shops listed. And anytime you go in and purchase at the Natural Foods Market, you're helping 2 great businesses.
Yes.
So we appreciate that, and I'm sure they do too.
They do.
So we really try to promote that.
They're great people down there.
And let you know where you can get our product.
I like it.
It's allergy season, so stock up on some allergy blend.
Get your allergy
You're looking
blend. You heard it here. That's
a
right.
natural product.
Yes.
We have just what you need.
Yes. Okay. What else would you like to share with our listeners that we didn't talk about? Anything?
Nothing that I can think of. If you need a house, call Colin.
Oh,
Right?
thank you. Yes, please call me.
Yes.
We would love to help you find
In
it.
Johnson City, connect with us and we can tell you where to go, what
Yeah,
to do.
for sure. Yeah, just reach out to us just for anything. Like if you want a great cheeseburger,
Right.
I may even go with you. and
Either
eat one.
listen
That'd be
to
great.
this podcast. Now, I have been listening to your podcast. I like it.
Oh,
It's
thank
taken a
you.
little shift from the good old days
Yeah.
of Layton.
Yeah,
So
it's we're
I've had a lot of fun seeing some of my friends on
Yeah.
and listening to some of their stories. So it's been a lot of fun.
yeah, and you can reach out to us on the podcast if you're thinking, hey, I've got something I want to share. I'm always looking for great folks to have on here, and it's just been
Absolutely.
fun to listen to new stories and get to know new people that I would never know because of the podcast. And so people are just
Absolutely.
coming out of the woodwork. And we had a guy from Maine on here who moved here, and then we've got another guy from Washington who was on here the other day. The Emmett Brost, he's great. There's just the Lord is like showing up. It's just a lot of fun, and so. Maybe one day we'll start selling a lot of houses because I have a podcast, but currently it's all cash
you on
going
the
out. It's just an outflow, which Mitch doesn't
That's
mind,
okay.
but
That's okay.
it'll get there.
We all have to have that outflow.
It'll get there. But yeah, well, thank you for being our friend. Carly and I just adore you, and we're so excited for you. And whatever you do, we love being
Thank
a
you.
part of it and
Thank you
supporting
very
it. Thank you for
much.
being a fan of ours. That's huge too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So we're looking forward to seeing.
Let's talk finding a new space.
Let's
right?
do it. That's right. Let's go find you a new syrup shop, and I like it. Yeah. So, thanks so much again for
Appreciate
coming
you.
on, and I enjoyed our conversation. I hope you guys did too. Again, we sell houses. If you need a house or you got one you don't need, you want to sell it, let me know. I'd love to do that for you too. And then we love helping people invest in real estate and build wealth, and we manage a ton of property, and we'd love to help you with that part of it too and take all the headache out of it. So just give us a call. I hope you have a great spring day. The Masters is coming on this weekend. I'm super excited about that and
Me
fired up
too.
for the Masters. So enjoy that and have a great day. Talk to you soon.